We're talking to Robert Wagner about your wonderful new book called You Must Remember This, Life and Style in Hollywood's Golden Age. And I just, even looking at the cover is, it's just beautifully done, and a wonderful homage to, well, to the golden era of Hollywood, like the title says. I have to ask you, I remember I first encountered you on the show Heart to Heart. In the 80s. Oh, yes. I remember watching that show with my mom. So anyway, so what made you want to put all of this, you know, all your experiences into a book?
Well, I've been asked a lot about the golden era by a lot of people that I work with and that I'm involved with, and my co-author Scott Iman and I wrote another book called Pieces of My Heart, and we started looking at what has kind of happened through that era. So I took it from the time that I was 7 years old and arrived in Hollywood, and was so interested in the motion picture industry and eager and loved films, and I thought, you know, this could be kind of interesting. And as I talked to these people and told them about it and the contract system and the moguls owning the studios, and I was involved in that. I caught the last part of it. And I looked around and suddenly it was gone. And I thought, maybe we better try to put a little bit of this down. I mean, it was the most thrilling time of my life. Yeah. And it was the best. It was the best time for me. And I thought, well, I'll try to put this down, and we'll get it down. And Scott is so knowledgeable about Hollywood, and so we started investigating it, and one thing led to another, and it was a thrilling time for me. And my hope is that the people that read the book will have the same experience, because it was great. It was just absolutely wonderful, wonderful time.
I can only imagine. I mean, here you were, you know, this young man in Hollywood with all these beautiful women. I mean, you've got Sophia Loren, you know, all these starlets, these lovely women, these handsome men. You know, it was a golden age. Was it? And it was a different time. Can you compare it at all to Hollywood today?
No, I don't. You can't compare it, because everything changes, and rightfully so. This is not a book about, you know, grievance or anything like that. It's a book about that time. A lot of things that have happened to Hollywood have been positive in many, many ways. Technology and all that. And a lot of things are not that positive. In certain ways, in certain respects, as far as trying to put together pictures. It's very difficult to do that today. Very difficult to raise money to make a film. And also, I was under contract to Fox as a young man, and that was every studio had a contract system, and they had young actors under contract to them for very little money, but you had I mean, for instance, Columbia had maybe 20 young people, MGM had maybe 40, Warner Brothers had 40, Fox had 20. All of these young actors had a chance to get into the movies. I mean, it was a terrific opportunity. And they made everything available for you, the studios. They had acting teachers and coaches, and you could get in front of the camera and do tests. I became the test boy at 20th Century Fox. I was very happy to do that. Yeah. You know, and I was very happy to have the opportunity to get in front of the camera, to learn, you know, to experience. And that doesn't happen today. You know, actors have a very difficult time today. I mean, you have to find acting classes that are away from the studio. Hopefully you can find a manager or an agent who can represent you, to take you to who has the knowledge of what pictures are being made, and can get you an interview and get you a reading. And it's a little bit different than when I started. When I started, I was there at the studio, and Daryl Zanuck could say, put him in a B picture, put him in a C picture, give him a part in an A picture.
Right, so there was a little more self-contained, yeah.
Well, yeah, and a little bit more of a personalized and caring, because, you know, you can get a picture today and have a hit, and there may not be a follow-up for it. You know, there may not be another picture down the line.
Yeah, but I'm glad you said that. You're not trying to, you know, you're not bitter. In fact, you're saying, look, this was a different time, and I'm celebrating it. You're enjoying it, and you enjoyed it immensely.
Absolutely.
Clearly. You talk about...
It was a great time. It was the best time in my life, and you know, I just wanted to share it, and it's my take on it, you know.
You talk a lot about architecture in this book as well, from what I'm reading.
Well, you know, at that time, parties were in people's homes, and you were invited to dinners at intimate dinners that maybe had 25 people or 12 people or whatever. Sometimes they put up a tent and had maybe 100 people. And it wasn't like today, you know, where there's big events.
Sure.
They referred to as events. You know, they were intimate dinners, and you had, you know, I remember, and I refer to it in the book, one time I was at Clifton Webb's house, who gave beautiful parties, and I had done a couple of films with him, and you know, Judy Garland sat down, Roger Edens was playing the piano, and Judy Garland got up and sang, and Frank Sinatra sang, and
that sounds like a party.
Sitting there, my eyes are, oh my goodness.
I can only imagine what you must have been thinking. You're like, I can't believe I'm at this party.
It was just incredible, you know, and I thought it would never end. I thought it was going to be. I didn't realize that, you know, a Frank Sinatra and a Judy Garland come along kind of once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know?
Can
so
I
to
ask
have
you,
the privilege and, yes.
You had a, yes, I'm sorry, you mentioned it was a privilege to be in their presence. You talk about Natalie Wood as well. You mentioned Natalie in the book as well, and your marriage to her, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, yes, you know, Natalie and I took her out on her 18th birthday, and we kind of grew up together and fell in love and had a marvelous love affair, and it lasted for three and a half years, and then we went our separate ways, and 10 years later we got back together, and it was what a moment that was. And we have our daughters, and you know, it was a great, you know, wonderful love affair.
I'm so glad that that you've written this book for fans, or your fans, of course, who love watching you, but also paying homage to that past, that beautiful gilded past of Hollywood's golden age. And we thank you so much for taking time to talk to us.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you,
well,
Robert.
you know, oh, you're welcome. Thank you so very much.